Hey y'all, it's Steve, Hobo with Wood, and this is going to be a video on making signs. Simple, funny signs, cheap and easy to make, and something you can probably sell and double or triple your money on. Something like that guy right there. I'm going to show you how I set up frames to create the perimeter of the design, something a little more unique than just the rectangle shape there. And then little feet and tabs there for a way to make it stand up. This would be something that should be a money maker and a fairly short video. So hang around. So there's probably plenty of time that you find yourself in the shop with nothing really pressing to do. You've got a little bit of free time on your hands. Well, don't waste that free time. Use that time to start generating some what I like to call frames, if you will. Frames for signs and artwork. And it's made with simple shapes, and you can make them a couple of elaborate designs with just a couple of clicks and a couple of offsets, and then you save those in your art library so that you've got them for when you do need to pull something up. So if you're sitting there idle, don't be idle. This is a fun time, or an optimal time to create some fun pieces and learn some new techniques in Lightburn, or new tricks. So let's jump in here in Lightburn and take a look at my frame library and what I've got. And I'm going to show you how to make a few of these and then incorporate that with the accents that I showed you in a previous video, and I'll link in the comments below on how to create these offsets or these accents that you can use with your frames to create small little funny signs that can make you, 10, 20 bucks in a craft fair. So let's jump into Lightburn. So this is my art library, and these are my frames. And I have 1 through 25. I've got 25 various frames here, and I'm going to blow up these icons so you can see them really big. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But as you see, as I just scroll down, there's 25 different designs that I've got here in the way of frames that I'll use for signage. Now, let's grab, you know what? Let's grab that one. I'm going to show you how easy it is to make this piece right here. I'm going to add it to my art, or my work area, put it in the center of the page, and then zoom into it. All right, and I'm going to minimize or shrink down my icon size. Back there we go. Now, this, if I put it in fill mode, there you can see the frame. Now I would need to cut it out. So in order to cut it out in that exact shape, then what I would need to do is ungroup everything. Grab just the outermost piece, duplicate it, Control D, and then put it on a red layer for my cut layer. So now it will all engrave and then cut out that perimeter that's ready to cut out. All I got to do is put whatever signage, verbiage, text, whatever. And a good source for some of the signs, and in fact this is where this one came from, it's just some of the popular memes that you see online right now. If it's trending and it's funny, it's a perfect chance to make a little sign out of it and turn it into 20 bucks. That's less than $2 worth of material, and you can sell it for $14.95 or $19.95 all day long at your craft shows. So memes, you don't even have to think about them. You just find what's funny, use those. The trick is whenever you're setting up your font and your text, vary your fonts. Don't use the same fonts. Don't make it monotonous. Use different fonts, different sizes. Maybe change up italicized or script, and just create a variation in the words. And I've got the little corner accents that I designed in the previous video, which will be linked below. But how do I create the actual frames? That one, I just did a rectangular frame. I needed something quick for a video. But here, this one, I'm going to show you how easy this is to create. So the biggest trick to creating designs like this is being able to identify the individual pieces and shapes that were used to create the overall design. So when I look at this piece, I've got 3 ovals and 2 squares. And then the little circles for the dots. So I got 3 ovals and 2 squares, or 2 rectangles. And you're like, where? I don't see that. Well, let's put this in line mode. And you're saying, I still don't see it. Well, I'm going to show you real quick. I'm going to come in here to about this. See, let's get a ellipse tool, and I'm going to come in here about center, and I'm hold Control Shift, and I'm going to draw out a circle. What do I want to be? I want to be probably about there, give or take. Then I'm going to go to my selector tool, hold my control button, and shrink it down. So that's pretty close. Move that in to center, hold that, and center it up. And see how that ellipse is really close? In fact, if I come back here now, hold my control and drag it up a little bit, and then bring it in a little bit. I was just eyeballing it, and I got it awful darn close. So there's one oval. Then I need, actually that one, yeah, that's right. Sorry, had another brain failure. Now go back here to my ellipse tool, come to the center, and hold down my shift and control, and I'm gonna draw out a perfect circle to about there. Then hold my control button, or get my selector tool, control, and shrink it down. Oh, come on, there we go. Control, and I'm gonna shrink this one down pretty considerable, about like that. Then I will come back to my ellipse tool, can get the center and draw on shift control and draw out to, do I want to do that? No, I don't want that. It's only two ellipses. I'm gonna delete that. I need 2 rectangles. So I'm gonna come over here, draw out a rectangle, and up here and draw out a rectangle. And I just do that backward? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. So that one's going to go from there to there. And this one, come on, there we go. This one out to here like that, and up to there. There we go. That's better. So now if I take that piece out of there, now you can start to see the shape. Now, that time I had this piece to look at and go by. But I was showing you, I did that so that you could see what I was looking at when I said I see. And actually there is another ellipse in there. No, that'll work. That would work. But I wanted you to see that. So it's 2 ellipses and 2 rectangles. And you don't need to be able to trace that. You can do this yourself. I'm going to delete that. And I'm just going to draw out. In fact, we'll use the rectangles first. I'll draw out. In fact, let's say it's going to be a 3x5. We're going to do, put that in millimeters. Yes, we're millimeters. Height, we'll say 60. And then if that's it'd be 100. So there's a 3x5 ratio. So if I wanted that to be there, then I wanted to have, let's see, come back over here, get another rectangle, and we're going to come here. And proportion wise, I'm going to say let's go, that snap to center, and that's showing right now is about 80, and this one was 60. Let's make this one 70 and see what it looks like. Put the anchor point in the middle and make it 70 millimeters. Yeah, I like that 70 better. Maybe even 75, but that actually don't look too terrible. So this was 100, 60 by 100, so 90. So that gives me a perfect right angle right there. We'll do that. Now I'm going to get my ellipse tool, come in here, get my crosshairs, hold Control and Shift, and I'm going to draw out a perfect circle until it reaches the outermost. In fact, we know that that rectangle was not 100 wide. So if I do that, and I was real close, we'll say it's 100. And then come back here with my ellipse tool, and now get my crosshairs there, and I'm going to hold Control Shift, and I'm going to take it on out here quite a bit, about there. Where's that going to be? Oh, I just undo that. I let go of the control button too quick, or one of them. We'll go out to about there. Now what is that? That's 140. All right, let's look. Let's see what 140 looks like. Just make that 140. And now go to the selector tool and grab the top, holding Control, and shrink it down to about there. What is that? We'll say, what is the height of this one? Height is 60, so we'll make the height of that ellipse 60. And unlock that and say it's 140. And there's my basic shape, kinda, sorta. I made this one a little bit more rectangular than, or closer to a square than this one, but now I'll just grab two shapes, doesn't matter which two, grab those two, weld it together, grab these two, weld it together, and then grab the last two and weld them together. So now there's a basic shape. Take that, do an offset of, we'll do 1 millimeter offset. Do not delete the original. Use round and outward. And say OK. Well, actually, you know what? We'll do outward or inward. Let's do inward. And if we're going to do that, let's do this at 0.5 and say OK. Select the resulting results. Do not delete. OK. Now we're going to do another offset inward, and this one we'll do at 5 millimeters. Nah, I'm not liking that way that gets lost there, so we need to go back outward. In fact, let's undo that and we'll do them all out. I was losing too much of the detail. Outward 0.5. No, we're going to make it a full millimeter and select that one. Do another offset and do it 5 millimeters. And let's do that one with corners. Don't want the corners? No. Round. It ain't gonna matter because there are no corners. Say OK, and then offset again, and do that one at a 0.5. And say OK. Select that one, and this time do an offset and do 0. And say OK, and go ahead and put it on a cut path. So now you've got your cut line and your engraved line. Put that, we don't want to put the, well, select it all. Deselect, you know what? Turn that off. Don't even show it. Now, grab all that, put it in fill. And if you say, you know what, I really don't care for it being that tall, it's okay. Well, you don't need it that tall. Just hold your control button and you can shrink it down proportional, get it down what you want, and that could work. You need your little dots in there. Just draw out a perfect circle. Put it on the black layer. Control D, duplicate it. Grab them both. Drop them in here. In fact, I'm going to move that one about there. And then grab that one and move it over about there. Now grab them both. Group them. Select that and center it. And now that's done. So creating frames like this is not very difficult to do, and you can use all types of shapes, do multiple circles. You can do circles on the corners, you can do triangular shapes, angular, rounded, offsets, whatever. Creating the frames are not difficult, but if you've got this library already set up, if you create, when you got that out of time, set up and make a bunch of these and save them to your library, then when you're ready to make some signs, boom, just grab one, drop it on your workspace, and you're ready to go. You don't have to create it ever again. It's done. And I'm sharing this library with my gold patrons for free. And I'm going to be editing and cleaning up my library and getting it all down to where it's all Lightburn ready without having to make any mods to it. You can just drop it in your library and use these files. And I'm going to put a new library in at least once a month between now and the end of the year and share my artwork with my gold level patrons. That alone would probably be worth your $20 a month commitment. But I really do. I'm asking you to sign up now and do a 6-month commitment from now to the end of the year and look and see if you don't feel like you're getting the value out of it, and then maybe reevaluate it after the first of the year. Okay, so I'm going to use my library to create a funny little sign and make it up really quick. I'm going to do this in real time. I'm not going to explain it to you. I'm just going to let you watch as I create and see how fast I put this together. Just using the art library and using different fonts to create a unique piece. And here we go. And that quick, I got a funny little sign. You could make this a wall hanging piece, or you could go to the trouble of putting it on a mount or a bracket. And that's what I did for my version of this. And let me cut over here to Lightburn and show you the stand that I created for this. So there's my sign. Let's put that over here. Let's import this from my commerce. This is set up on a 12 by 12 piece of material. I've got the same sign there, and what I did was I put this on an offset fill like that, so that'll fill that in rather quickly, and that's just an engraving. Then this piece cuts out and glues to the center, the back center of this. Then two of these snap into there, and then those snap into there. And this is just the same silhouette cut out of that, so it's kind of like a shadow of itself sitting on for its base. But that's on hobowithwood.com. hobowithwood.com. Let's go over there. There she is, and there we can see how the stand goes together. Didn't realize I had that on there twice. But you can go download this now and not have to go to the trouble of creating it from scratch, and it's got the stand on it. Or I've just shown you how simple this is to create them yourself. Make your own art libraries, save those, and you just pull them in as you need them, and don't have to create and create, recreate. As it was actually suggested by you, one of the viewers, about sharing my art library with folks, and I am doing that now with the gold tier patrons, and it'll be a new library at least once a month. Cleaned up, detailed, nice, Lightburn friendly, ready to use artwork. So those files, my Lightburn files, my Lightburn art library files, I'll be sharing at least once a month with my gold tier patrons. Jump over to patreon.com. It's right there. Patreon.com/hobowithwood. Become a gold tier supporter. You'll have free access to all of the digital files on Hobo with Wood. Files that are on Patreon right now that are not anywhere else. Plus, once a month, I'll be sharing these library files. But don't think you can wait 3 months from now and sign up and get 3 months worth of libraries. Because when I drop a new library, I'm going to get rid of the other one. So right now, I've already shared, for the month of August, I've shared my frames. Consist of 25 pieces, and let's get it down here and then show you that preview. All 25 of these frames are on patreon.com for my gold tier supporters. So jump over there. Do at least a 6-month commitment from now to the end of the year. Get you a ton of free files from Hobo with Wood, plus this Lightburn art library. There we go, for free, a new one every month, and save yourself a ton of time. And you'll have you seen me when I was doing that creation where I jumped over to my accents. That's going to be the next file I share, and I've got a video that I have linked down in the description. It'll probably be on the end of this video too, that shows how I create those accent pieces if you haven't seen that. So I'm Steve, Hobo with Wood. I thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. I know you've got a lot of choices on what you can stare at on the boob tube and on your YouTube. I'm just glad that you're here with us today or tonight, whenever you're watching. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. I'm out.